Welcome. In this video, I'm going to continue on Project-06, the kayaking site with page 71, 271. And in this section here, we're going to start creating multiple columns of text, which are different than the float left with the divs that you've seen. The multiple columns allow you to have text when it finishes one column to start on another column, just like you see in a newspaper, as opposed to just totally separate columns itself. So I have the live view open over here, and we're going to have to actually type in some code for specific browsers, as not every browser supports the same line of code. So we're going to put code in for 3 different browsers. So we open up the styles, and I'm just going to go all the way into code to make my life easier. And what we want to do is we need to be in the FAQs link over here, so we need to find that. Now, one of the ways that you can find it is through the CSS designer, or you can just search over here using Control F, which is the find, or you can do it the old-fashioned way, which is just search for it. I'll show you later how to do it in the CSS designer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to type in exactly what it asks us. So we're going to type in MOZ, which is for Mozilla. Now, you're probably not going to get the code hints that you're used to. That's okay. So we're doing count, and we will obviously want 2 columns. So now that we have that, we're going to type in the exact same thing, only this time we're going to type in WebKit. And last, good old Internet Explorer, which always pulls up the rear and is my least favorite one of all. And this one we have in there. So we'll just put in 2 over here. So in recap, the MOZ is for Firefox or Mozilla. The WebKit is going to do Safari, Opera, and Google Chrome. And of course, our friend colum-count is just plain Internet Explorer. So let's go into live and let's see if it worked. And it did. Notice that you have 2 columns. We're in live view. And notice that if it finishes one column, it's going to go directly over to the other column. Let's see what it looks like in design view. Nothing. That's why you need to sometimes continue working in live view and be switching back and forth between design. The more you work in Dreamweaver, the more you'll get used to design view. Now we're going to work with web fonts. One of the things that I've discovered is people just love to install fonts and use them in their web designs. And that's great. They look fantastic right up to the point where a user doesn't have that. So I'm a big fan of less equals more. And we don't really want to have a lot of things that can go wrong. Our goal is to have everything working on all browsers and all windows. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Adobe Edge web fonts, which allow certain webs to download the fonts automatically. So we're going to go into Tools and Manage Fonts. Now, I've already done this, so it may or may not have these installed on my computer. You have not done it, so and more than likely it's not going to be here. So it tells us make sure that none of the buttons are toggled off on dark, which you can see if you click on this, it changes everything over here. So we're going to scroll through the list of fonts, and we're going to choose the Bauman's font, which should be in alphabetical order. And here is, now notice I already have a check on it. So it's add. So you're going to click on the check over there. That means it's now available for you to use. Then I'm going to click on the left side of the die box, and I'm going to click the second button from the top. Unless something's wrong, this is the second button from the top. And it gives us a list of recommended paragraphs in here. So let's see what it wants us to do. It wants us to find called a font stack in here. How exciting is that? You can read that, which is really mostly you're going to be curl is a font family. And that's nothing more than a sequence of fonts that says, okay, let's try to this one. If we don't have this one, let's do this one. If we don't have this one, we're going to find something very plain, vanilla, and generic. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the available fonts, and we're going to select Bauman's from the list, and we're going to click the button. Now, I've already done this, so I can't do that, but you can do that. So you'll see that in my list of available fonts, it's already there. Then in the other one, you're going to just continue working on here, and you're going to do number 9 and number 10. So assuming you're up to snuff over here, we're going to click the plus sign in there, and you're going to see that all the fonts that you need to find are now available. So that's the image on number 10. I will try to delete the fonts and go back and do a specific video just for the 2 of those in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply web fonts to page elements. So we're going to click in the, let me click done here. We're going to click in the styles over here, and we want to click the current button, and we're going to click on the H1. So we click on current, we're going to click on H1, which is over here, and we're going to click on our properties, and we want text, and let's find a font family. Okay, now you can see they're already loaded here, which is why I was not able to do number 9 and number 10 in there. You should not have any problems doing that. If you do, email me and I'll give you step-by-step instructions over here. So we're going to apply the web fonts to the page element, which is number 1, number 2, and number 3 in page 275. So I'm just looking over here, see which one it wants us to do. So we want Bauman's and sans serif, which is this. And that takes care of that. And you can see how it's automatically changed over there, even though you do not have that font on your system. So if you go now into page source, let's go in code, you can see that there's something added up here for you. You don't have to type any of this stuff over here, but you can see the font family over here is added for you automatically. So that takes care of number 6 and number 8. And number 9 is the H2, and we're going to do the header P for both of them. So let's go back into here. And we want to do the H2, which should be this. We'll go into the font family. And we want the Bauman's sans serif. Which is this. And for the header P, we want to do the same thing. So remember, the header P is the P text inside of the header. This is the header. So we can click on the P here, and we'll do the exact same thing. We have the font family and the Bauman's sans serif, and that takes care of that. Then we want to do the body. For the body, it just wants the PT sans and sans serif. So we're going to click on body. And we're going to do the exact same thing. Oops, font family. And we have the PT here. Boom. So basically that means change everything that does not have something that's redefining it, such as the header 1 and the header 2 and then the header paragraph over here. That was number 10. Number 11 is the world famous Save All. The reason why we're choosing Save All is because we want to make sure everything gets updated over here. So we're going to update all the other web font files. That's done for you automatically. Thank you, Dreamweaver. And we're going to close the index file, and that's all for this video. Have a wonderful day. Please let me know if you need any assistance with the web fonts.